How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Everything Real Estate Podcast number 10. We have a special guest, Carly. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name's Carly Grenman. Um, I don't know. What do you want to know about me?
What is it you do?
So I do a lot of things. Well, it's kind of like what do not do. So I am in real estate. I invest in real estate. For a long time, I was doing traditional real estate, which is like where you go to the bank and they look at your taxes and you put 30% down. And then I thought I was doing something illegal and bought something subject to. And then my husband found Pace on Bigger Pockets and we realized it's not illegal and people do this all the time. So now we're like into creative, and we're also getting one of my biggest dreams forever. I grew up on spring break. We had big motorhomes and we'd travel around through like California and Vegas and Disneyland, Newport Beach, California, all West Coast, and stay in RV parks. And so it's been like a huge foundation of my upbringing. And I'm like, it would be so cool to own one of these. So what we have done, that's like a future goal. But right now we are buying RVs creatively, just like I told you, subject to, like people do with houses, and we're renting them out. And then we're going to scale and hopefully get up to RV parks and the whole shebang. So that's
Love
what
it.
I do a little bit.
What inspired you to start an RV rental business?
I mean, growing up, I love camping. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so for those of you that don't know, down south of Utah, there's like 5 national parks. There's Arches, Zion, Bryce. I can't think of all of them. There's so many. And so we would go camping for Easter. We'd go down there. We'd go boondocking with like all of our family friends, like in motorhomes. They all had CBs because there was no cell service or phones, I don't think, back then. And it was just like fun. And so then we'd also do that on spring break. And so it's something that I think I just grew up doing and I love. And I thought, I'm doing this with real estate. Why can't I do this with RVs? And I have little kids right now. So being able to don't we all want to give our kids like the things that we had like growing up? And I'm like, that was such a huge part of my childhood. I'm like, I want to take my kids out into nature and like just so being in real estate, I just kind of like it kind of clicked, and I've always wanted to do this. And I was actually wholesaling a house and they were in pre-foreclosure, and they're like, I'm also back on RV payments. And I'm like, excellent. Not for them, for me.
You're like, excellent.
I would love to take that off your hands. And so, they kind of say, like, if you're into the woo, like once you tell the universe, like, this is what I want, the universe will, and you like take the action and set the intention, like the universe will conspire to make your dreams happen. And so we got that in June. And then we got a Sprinter van, which is like those Mercedes Sprinter vans that are built out by Winnebago. So they're like a cargo van the next month. And I was like, holy shit, that happened quick. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. But so it's just like everything's happening quick and it's just going. So yeah.
Right? So you travel a lot then? Like to travel and stuff?
I'm trying to. It's tough because we have little kids. I have a W-2. I'm building out an RV business, a real estate business. And because we have these RVs, I was like, yes, I've always wanted these. I'll be able to do this, but they're rented out nonstop. And I don't want to block out the days, kind of. So I'm trying. My husband, Alex, is like, maybe we should get another one just for us so we can actually use it. So
Right.
we're trying to travel.
Can you share some key considerations for someone looking to enter the RV rental industry?
Yes. So if you know anything about real estate, which I'm assuming that your viewers do, they get it's kind of like real estate. Um, and you just transfer it over to RVs and cars. It's a little bit different because like with real estate, if you subject to something, the title traditionally goes in the buyer's name, right? So, and then it's a little different because there's state laws that are different with each. It's not like federal laws, it's state laws for each thing, unlike houses. So you have to go to the DMV. Like where I bought mine in Idaho, the license registration all have to stay in the seller's name. So there's a little bit more hurdles you have to jump through. Um, but it's not impossible. So
Right. What kind of legal stuff should people be aware of? Is there any like important legal things that people should be aware of?
yes, there's a lot of legal things. I mean, where do you want to get started? So a lot of people, I'm kind of by de facto, just because I've been sharing my story, people are like, "Oh, you're the RV gal," which I love that people look at me like that. But like, so people are starting to come and ask me, and so like, if anybody's watching and they're like, "I have this subject to deal for an RV or a car," let me know. I'm so happy to help because it's kind of the wild, wild west with as far as all of this. So for those of you guys that know Pace Morby, and I don't know who your audience is. Some people don't know, but he's like the king of creative finance. You and I are both in that subject to mentorship. And he's been buying cars. So his TC or like CEO, like right hand woman, Molly, I was calling her and like help because I'm not a TC person. I'm not a legal person. I don't do documents, but I hire TCs like so things are done right. Um, but I was calling her, and thank God for Molly. I can't thank her and Allison enough. They really held my hand. And I'm calling her from the DMV in Idaho, and I'm like, they need the title from the bank, and I'm not going to the bank and telling them because it's subject to like the title holds the bank. There's a lien.
Yeah.
And she's like walking me through it. She's like, try this way. So I drive down to other DMV. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot. It's kind of the Wild West. And so like I still don't know everything, but I'm so grateful for people like Molly and the people in the community that Mike Davis is also in the community and he does a Turo business. And I'm like voice messaging him at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Facebook. I'm like, hi, can you help me? I don't know you. You don't know me, but we're both in sub two and I know that you know some things. So that's what's really, really cool about that community. So, surround yourself with people that are a couple steps ahead of you, and I'm happy to help anyone. But like legally, you want to be covered because the seller has the loan, the license, and the registration in their name, and so you want to have both of you covered with documents. Also, if you're renting them out, a lot of insurance companies like Geico or Progressive, the traditional ones, your insurance is voided if you rent it out. So you have to get a special insurance company. So you want to make sure like legally, like that's kind of like kind of legally, like if anything happens to it, like you really need to be protected. What's another thing legal that's pretty big? You always want to get a power of attorney from the people because you want to be able to talk to the DMV and you got to change the address on the registration. So when they send you the license plates or your RV registration, but you want to make sure, as you know, in real estate, to set yourself up for success, the number one thing you can do is have your documents and your everything protected. So I'm that's just like a few things that I can think off the top of my
Right.
head.
You're willing to help some people if they need help with it?
Yes, reach out to me at Carly Grenman on Instagram or Carly.Grenman. That's my best. Emails get buried. If you go in on Facebook, it goes to like the spam folder and they get lost. So that's the best way to get a
How
hold of me.
how would you choose the best location to start the RV rental business? Like how to do that?
That's such a good question. I love that people, because I don't think a lot of people think of that. So like when I was out there and I was like, I want RV parks, and people would be like, I got one in West Texas. And I'm like, do people go to West Texas? I don't know. Do they? Like, so you want to go, like Ariel says, I want to go where the people are. Like, go where
Mhm.
people are vacationing. So I'm in Washington State. I'm right outside of Seattle and Gig Harbor, Washington. For those of you who don't know, we have national parks here. We have Mount Rainier. We have the Olympic National Rainforest. There's rainforest. There's beaches. There's hiking. It's a magical place up here. So we are very fortunate in the fact that we live in a place where it's very adventurous and there's a lot
Mhm.
of places to go camping and people come here. So I would go where the people are going, where tourists go. And go in places where the winters are mild, unless you have a lot of money or like a lot of like other things going because like if you're in Alaska or like Pace just bought one in Kalispell, Montana, an RV park. And I was like, let's talk about the winter. Like because the winters are wintering there, and RVs are not always built for winter. You can do it, some are, and some people go hard and are hardcore in RV in the winter. But I mean, you're towing things and you're driving in things with like slippery roads, and like the pipes can freeze if it's, it's just there's a lot going on. So I would pick somebody place that you can cash flow all year round. RV parks, Pace was really smart. He's got like glamping there. He's got cabins. He's got storage. So he'll have other streams of income in the winter, which is nice. But pick where people are, pick where like it can mild winters. What else? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Those are like the two biggest things. Like,
Right.
and a
Is there
lot of
is there a reason you shouldn't pick a location? Is there something like that, like reversing it?
So in real estate, we like to say go into landlord friendly state, which is like
Mhm.
red states, right? And so I was talking to somebody about this, and I live in a blue state, which is it's like one of the least landlord friendly states, next to California, because whatever California does, Washington does too. So, and I'm like, I was talking to someone yesterday, and it's like, it's so funny how like Oregon, California, they have like the sequoias and the redwoods. Washington, they're all blue states, but they have all like the best national parks. And so and I think with if you're going to be doing anything as far as RV rentals, there's not a lot of restrictions or taxes yet, knock on wood. That it's nothing that's not too business friendly not to start for rentals. And so we are looking to buy in Oregon and Washington RV parks. And so we were talking and we're like, probably like the hardest thing, because we're also looking for land right now to park our RVs on. And then we'll have to like build septic so you can dump their RVs. And I think right now, if you buy something that's already like established, it's like zoned for an RV park, you don't have to get permits to like cut down trees or like get septic, because here we wanted to put an ADU on our backyard, and it was like you have to get the biologists and the soil tests and make sure that the environment is going to be super protective. It would be $12,000 out of my pocket just to ask the county if I can build a garage with an apartment above it, like in the back. It's so bananas. So I would say if you're looking for something, try to like RV park wise in a blue state, it's not bad. I mean, the taxes are going to be higher. The cost of doing business is definitely higher, but people are going there. So it's a good trade-off. But anything where you have to get permits, like have a lot of money and a lot of patience in blue states.
Right.
So they have a lot of opinions about what you can do with your property there. So,
Right. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
How do you set up your pricing structure for your RV rentals?
With this RV business, it's just kind of like, how they say just start and just go and just figure it out, and like, so we started, and I'm just like on Outdoorsy. So that's one of the platforms I rent on. I'm like, what's the guy down the road going for? I just want to, so what we are doing is it's just kind of, it's tough because like when you have the cheapest one, you also get the customers. I don't know if you guys have been in, if this happens all over with business, like the cheaper the price, the tougher the customers, because all they want is a bargain, and then they want to squeeze every nickel and dime out of you, and then they complain, so it's like, I don't know. So we have our trailer pretty low right now, but I mean, maybe it's not low. It's decent, but our trailer, and we're renting it out. And I didn't think about this. Like it's got dents and scratches, and people don't know how to back up trailers. And there's like a big, then there's trees, then bushes that scrape down the sides. So like, I don't know. I'm playing with like making the prices more, because then you get like the higher quality renters, and that like they understand the quality of this and they'll take care of it better. So right now I'm just going by, I'm just throwing numbers out there and seeing.
Just going with the flow.
I'm just figuring it. Like a lot of this is like, I'm just figuring it out and making mistakes and being like, well, good to know.
That's how you do it, right?
For a learning lesson.
So do you let them rent it and they can drive off with it, or you got it in a set location?
That's another tough like thing with like Airbnbs. Like it's it's stuck to the ground. Like
Hmm.
nobody is backing it into a parking spot or trying to take it through a McDonald's drive-through, like or hooking up the trailer. It's like you got to hook up the trailer and the brakes and like, so it's a lot more technical. But yes, they are literally hooking up the trailer. We have a van and a trailer. They're hooking the trailer up to their truck. They're driving the van off into the sunset. So it's tough if you have an emotional connection to these things. Like this van I've wanted for 2 years, and so, like, it's a dream machine is what I call it, and so when it came back with, like, a burn mark and it had, like, only 1,000 miles, I'm like, oh, like, I have too much emotional and I have too much emotional connection to this van, but so don't
Like,
get
do you put
emotionally
a
connected.
tracker in it? You put a tracker in it, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, the intention is to, but we got this thing called Zuby, and it's not user friendly, and I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm not gonna not rent out my van just because I can't figure it out. So we are renting. This is another legal thing. A lot of people with like Airbnbs and houses, they're like, let's do direct booking. So you like cut Airbnb out and like you cut they take 20% or whatever it is.
Hmm.
So it's kind of tough with RVs because Outdoorsy and RVZ, they all have like the legal documents and they're doing background checks and they're checking driver records and they have all the legal documents to protect us. So I do rely on that. I think there's a lot of protections for us if someone just drives off with it. And it's special insurance that they have to get. So, um, no trackers now. I hope none of my renters are listening to this being like, "Hi."
Right. How do you market your vehicles, like to put customers in them?
Right now we're using Outdoorsy. It's just like the Airbnbs of RV land. So,
Outdoorsies?
Outdoorsy is the best one. And I think RVZ is another one. It's like a French company that they've brought over here. And you can tell the difference between a French company and a United States company because like there's like 45 pages of contracts that they have to sign on our Outdoorsy. And then on our VZ, we're all like, that's it. It's just like, yep, I handed the keys over. I promise that I'll take care of it. And I'm like, oh my God, this RV is the first time I've done RVZ. And it's like I live in Washington. It's going to South Dakota. It's going very far away from like nobody that I know. So I'm just hoping we'll see how that goes. There's a lot less protections. I don't know. It seems like with RVZ. And then there's RV Share. I have had 0 bookings from RV Share. So
So you're getting the most out of Outdoorsy then?
yes, that's the best one.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you maintain them? Like any insights on maintaining and servicing the RVs? Do you have to do that or?
Yes, it's tough. So this is another thing I'm learning as we go. I got this thing in June from this and I'm like, "Hey, I want to get this service." And I call the service department and most RV places are like 8 weeks out. So like which is tough for a rental business because if someone breaks something like our black tank, which is your poop tank,
Hmm.
the sensors are off. You can see like if it's a full tank or an empty tank, and so the sensors, it's notorious for RVs apparently for the sensors to be off. And I thought it was full. And I'm like, I just dumped it. Is there a clog? What's going on? Should I cancel? I had to cancel one RV because I'm like, I'm not going to send you with like a full black tank. That's not cool to send you with a full poop tank. And so it's tough. I've learned that you have to make friends there's RV. We live in a place where it's on the coast. So there's a lot of marine and RV are very hand in hand for service repairs. And there's a lot of mobile RV repairs. So I'm in the process of building relationships with people. And if you just go to a dealership, they're 8 weeks out. And so you got to build like everything in any business is a relationship building thing, right? Like, so I'm like, hey, I want to build a relationship and see how we can help each other. And I've met this one guy. I was like, so like when you when you dump an RV, like the gray tank is the soapy water, black tank is the bathroom, like you hook a hose up and then you pull it, the lever. And so I went to go dump it. This is also why I had to cancel it. The lever just completely pulled out and like fell off. And I'm like, I have a lot of bookings coming up and I know it's 8 weeks out. So I
Hmm.
called this guy and he's the mobile guy and he's like, well, tell me about it. Send me a picture. What is this? He's on the phone with me telling me how to fix it myself. And I'm like, you are a godsend. I need to send you money just because it helped me. Like I didn't have to cancel a huge reservation. And I'm pretty like, if I'm pretty savvy, I can fix something if I have instructions, and it's not that bad.
Watch YouTube.
I watch YouTube. Between YouTube and this guy, and he's like, go do this, and you have to cut this part with a good razor blade, and be careful for there's wires. Don't cut like get Gorilla Tape, get this thing. It just screws in. And so YouTube is helpful. And to build relationships with RV repair guys that will walk you through this on the phone, which for free, which I need to just send him a huge thank you card.
It'd be
So
kind of cool. That it's
what?
a whole nother thing off topic, but
Yeah.
you should probably get a repair shop with the zero down thing that they're doing right now.
So that's another thing I want to look into is like an RV repair shop. So I grew up in the car business. My dad has dealerships, which also have service departments. And so like, that's another thing why I'm so interested in RVs, because I grew up in the automotive industry. And so I'm talking to my dad right now because service departments and tire centers, they're money makers. They're very good businesses. And so I'm like, Dad, do you want to go in on a service business? Because I don't know anything about service and repair. I mean, I know a little bit. I grew up in it.
But you might find an established one that's already established with the workers.
Yes. Definitely an established one. But I think I'd want my dad, it's just like you don't know what you don't know. And if you know a guy that knows stuff. So yeah, that's what we have so many ideas. Like we want to do that. We want to buy land. We want to get RV parks. So if anybody knows of any of that in the Pacific Northwest or any tire dealerships, like those Point S tires or like Les Schwab's, they're just.
I have an auto repair shop right now for 30% down. It grosses $1 million right now in my inbox.
Where is
broker. It's in
location?
Texas. It's close to Corpus Christi by the beach.
That's good though. That's really good. So if you have anybody that's watching, if you don't want it, Justin, send me your tire repair shop things because they make ungodly amounts of money if you do it right.
So, right. How do you do insurance? Like, what's your insurance considerations for the business?
So insurance, there is a place, I think it's called MBA, or it's those numbers. I'm dyslexic. It's like ABM or MBA out of Arizona is a very good place that I've heard a lot of people use it. I have not used it. It was something I was going to look into, but it's tough when you do sub 2 because they're like, why is the title, like, why is this in someone else's name? Like they start asking questions just like they do with houses. So I had to make a few phone calls, but so Outdoorsy, the platform that I rent on, they are so business savvy. They are also, I think their biggest business is the insurance company. So they also have an insurance company called Roamly that protects the owners because if you go to Geico or Progressive, if you rent it out third party, it voids everything. So they're so smart. They have me, the owner, buy insurance all year long for them. And then when the renters come in and they're like, I want to rent your stuff, they're like, excellent, buy insurance from us. You have to.
Right.
And then you get a basic package, an intermediate package, and a premium package. So that is really good for me because there's double insurance. Really good for Outdoorsy because they're just cashing in on all these insurance. Plus they get 30% of what I make. So
wow.
And they have no inventory. And they have no overhead. They don't have to take care of it. I have to be the person to fix the dump tank when it breaks. They're just a platform. Sounds
like they're crushing it.
So I need to be Outdoorsy when I grow up. That's what my business I need to figure out. They
reach out to them, see if they'll sell it.
It's I looked up the guy. He's made so many tech startups. He's it's one of those tech startups like Airbnb and Uber and stuff.
When you get an RV, do you do any amenities or features you add to it, or you just leave it the same way?
I wonder if I can show you guys. If you go to, I don't know if you want to go to it. I can show your screen. So
you can show your screen.
Let me go. Let me pull up. I have 8 million tabs open.
I think you're able to.
Yeah. So so I'll show you guys. I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys. This is a big money maker. New tab is what I want to share. Okay, share. So if you go to www.wanderwheelsrv.com, right here, it takes you to my outdoorsy account.
It's
So
not.
like,
Wait, it's not sharing. There we go.
oh, it's not sharing. Okay, so if you go to wanderwheels.com, it just redirects to my outdoorsy account. And so this is where I tell. So here we'll do the trailer. So here you can do add-ons with all of them. And this is where you make the money. Because outdoorsy can take, or like the platform can take like 20 or 30% off of the rental rate, but these add-ons, they can't. So I tell people I'll clean out your poop tanks for $200. It's not a fun tank. It's not a fun job that anybody wants to do. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make $200 in like 20 minutes. And people do this because it's not fun to dump poop tanks. Blow up paddleboard you can rent for $100. I was just telling someone this other day. I put this out here, 2 camping chairs at $50 per day. Like I'm like, no one's gonna buy this. You can buy your own camping chairs forever for less than this. But people are buying renting camping chairs from Costco at 50. I mean, they're nice ones. Clean out tanks, delivery. This is a huge thing that's it takes a lot of time. So that's why it's so much. It takes a lot of time out of my day because I have kids, I have a W-2, I have other businesses that I'm doing, and I don't have any employees right now, which I need to. So early pickup, generator, late drop off, pet fees, pickup. I'm picking it up, trailer hitch. So this is where you can make a lot of money on your listings.
That's
This is
cool. Like little add-ons and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. And so there's different things you can add for different types of things, but yeah, that's a good way to make money and do add-ons and just different little things.
I love it. So we talked about how you rent them out. How do you find them? Let's say you're trying to find one to
That's a good
buy.
question. That's a good question. So for real estate, we know like if we want to find a subject to thing, you have to find motivation, which is like pain. Like they're in foreclosure. That's where I got the trailer. High days on market is something if you're doing agent outreach. A lot of this, I took a lot of my real estate knowledge and dumped it over to RVs. And so if you go to RV Trader, there's a thing that shows like they just lowered the price and it's been on RV Trader for more than 150 days, which is so you kind of take those same principles and you put it over to RVs. It's a little bit harder because to find the motivation and to talk people into it because they have to keep a lot of stuff in their name and they just are like, here, I'll keep it in my name and I just have to trust that you're going to pay the loan.
Right.
So, but it's a lot of the same as like finding the pain and extracting the pain. Like I'm not going to go to a dealership like Polsbo RV is here. I'm not going to go to them and be like, do you want to sell or finance this? And they're going to be like, yes, we can do it. And then they upsell you on warranties and, I know how dealerships are.
12% interest.
Yes, it's nothing that's smart to do. So
how do you stay updated on the industry, like trends and stuff like that?
This is just kind of like, honestly, I'm just stumbling my way through it, to be honest with you. Like this one guy, I'm on Facebook we have an Airbnb that I'm going to get ready. And I was looking on Facebook Marketplace to find like cute stuff, like couches and stuff like secondhand. And I saw this guy that was renting out his RVs and it's like on Marketplace, it's like a little guest house for your family. Like I'll bring it to you for the holidays. Don't say no to your in-laws staying with you. They can have their own thing. And I was like, that's genius. So I'm just going around and like looking at things and looking at what other people are doing because this is kind of like no one's really doing this right now, so it's hard to be like, there's no influencer that's like, let me show you how to do this. Like there's a pace or something for this. So I'm really honestly just stumbling my way through this and just watching what other people are doing and seeing how other people are doing. And I'm just kind of like learning as I go. So Also, I did grow up in the automotive industry, and so my whole family is in that industry, and so I'm talking to my brother, and he's like, he's really has a pulse on it because he works at the dealership, and he's like, listen, everybody was buying up RVs during COVID because no one was working, everything was shut down, y'all had to be outside and in your little pods, and that was perfect for RVs. So like my brother is basically what I'm doing, and he's like, everybody is going back to work now, like COVID is quote unquote over, like nobody is like, it's not where it was in the spring of 2020 is what I'm saying. Like everyone's going back to work. There's a vaccine, like we're got masks, blah, 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 blah. So people have all these RVs and they're like, I'm not using these. I'm going back to work. So that's another motivation, by the way. But my brother, and people in the automotive industry, I'm like, what should I watch out for? Because he's just, yeah, it's tough. Just figuring it
Right.
out.
Are you gonna add like a referral program? So like
Yeah.
if you bring me a RV, I'll give you something like whatever, like a
Like,
bonus.
are you saying like a bird dog?
Yeah, like a
Like
bird dog. Yeah.
yes. So if you guys bring me, and I'm setting up my website right now to do for RVs, you can submit RVs right now to my website. It's what I'm also an elephant challenge leader, so it's where my baby elephants put it.
If you put it in the comment, I can screen share it on the slide. Put it on the screen. If
It's
you put it in the comment section.
okay. Elephant.aurora invests.com. So that's where this is just for any deal. Like any deal right now. I'm making one for RVs. If you guys go there and you have anything, I will give you a bird dog fee. So what I'm building out right now is if anybody has an RV that they know is subject to, or if they want to, like, they need help with it, or if I can help wholesale it and do the deals. So what I'm going to do is, yes, a referral program, and bring me your RVs and I can help you find buyers, because for some reason I'm just like the default RV person. It's people seem to think, which is fine with me. So I'll help you guys I get a lot of deals. So like send me the deals, and there's a lot of things that I can't buy. So like fifth wheels is one of them. For those of you that don't know what fifth wheels are, you have to have so I have an F-150 truck. Fifth wheels, you have to have an F-250. This is just Ford. The engine, the size of the engine and the towing capacity. So those are usually really long, and you have to have a special trailer hitch that goes in the bed of your truck, right? They're great, but they're hard to rent out because I have a 26-foot trailer and people can barely figure that out when they rent it out. Unless you have land. So that's why I'm looking for land too. Or you do delivery service of it. I don't have a truck. I only have an F-150 right now, so I can't pull it or do anything with it. So something like that, if somebody brings me I have a lot of fifth wheels that come in. If anybody has land that they want to put it on, or they have the big truck and they want to rent it out and deliver it, like, let me know, because I get a lot of fifth wheels, but I can't do anything with them. So I'm just going to be like, I can't do it, but Justin, I know this guy, maybe Justin, that wants to do it, and
Mhm.
I'll call him. So like just like a wholesale operation for RVs for sure. If you guys have anything, I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to bird dog you, give you a cut of the deal. So
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Is there any like other technology and tools, software you use for this business, or like a CRM or?
Right now I'm using, I was shopping around for CRMs. I'm using Rick Shelton's, is it Shelton? Yeah, Open Dispo is what I'm using.
Okay.
Which they're all built off of Go High Level. So it's like REA Reply, Unapologetic Results, Open Dispo.
Mhm.
They're all great. I'll recommend all of them. I looked at all of them. But I'm not an integrator, and Rick Shelton said that he was like, I'll do working sessions for you and help you set it up, because I can figure it out. I just don't have time to do it, So that's why I went with them. But they're all great programs, all have amazing things. They have AI bots capability. Anything built off of Go High Level, I would recommend anybody to do. It's a great program. And they're all great programs. So check out any of them.
Love it.
But
Is there is
anything.
there is there permits or licenses you need?
So it depends on state. Everything with the RV will depend on your state. So mine are out of Idaho, and you have to just have a registration, a RV registration is all you need. But you don't need anything else, really. It's
Is it
kind
the
of the Wild
same
West.
as like buying a house though too? Like there's a due on sell clause or no?
There is. It could get called. Yeah, there is
Really?
that. I mean, it could. Like, I don't know. I see, it's really the Wild West. When I was talking to Molly and she's holding my hands for this, she's like, "You're really our beta tester," because
Hmm.
she's like, "We've done cars, but we've never done RVs, and RVs are pretty much the same as cars, but it's just a little bit different, because it's like trailers you don't drive."
Yep.
So I'm still trying to figure out. For the most part, we will do if the sale is called, like if the loan is called, we'll go and the same thing as a house. We would deed it. You don't even deed it. There's no deed. We just, I don't know. That's a good question. That's something I'm going to
Right.
figure out. I mean, I would do whatever I had to do. Just like, well, if it's a house, then you deed it back to the seller, and then you do
Hmm.
a land or land option. But that's a great question. I
Yeah,
don't.
we gotta look into that,
We
huh?
got like this. There's things like this where I'm like, I gotta look into this. Like I said, this is the Wild West. I'm just figuring it out as I go.
What is your goal? Like, where can you see yourself like a year from now?
I want RV parks. I want so this is what I want to do. I want land where I can like do glamping and people like slips. They're called RV slips where there's like
Hmm.
the pads and the power and the dumper. With slips and like camping so people can tent camp or they can RV camp where you can rent. So like an RV park
Yep.
basically where you can do everything. And then I'll also have like sub 2 RVs like if there's a fifth wheel that I can't pull back and forth, like put it in a slip and rent it out for people that just want to fly in and have the RV experience without towing and pulling it. And then also so get land, like we said, the service business, because I want to scale this. And as I scale this, I need to have a whole operation. I need to have like an RV guy to help me fix, like a service department,
Hmm.
because I can't be waiting. If for a successful business, I can't wait 6 to 8 weeks for something to get fixed, because that's gonna kill my.
Time is money.
It is. So a shop for sure. Land, because right now we're doing it out of our house. Like we have land that we're just like we can store the stuff, but I'd rather have like a place of business with
Have
like
you ever went to landhub.com?
not Land Hub, but I've been on Land Watch lately. I've been
Landhub's
moving over
pretty
there.
cool. You can go on there and you can find owner finance deals on land.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check out Land Hub.
It's pretty cool.
And then also something that people can do if they're watching this, if they have land but they don't want to sell it, there's things called like hip camp or like I can't think where you rent out your land to people that want an RV. So
Oh,
like,
that's cool. You can just
which
rent
is
it out and not
which
sell
like
it.
not sell it. No, like if you just have plain land there, like there's no RV hookups, there's no dumper station, there's nothing, but the land is yours. You can put it on there and they just rent a piece of your land for like 3 days. And they boondock, which is like dry camping. Like you're not hooking up to things. You're just, you know.
What's your criteria? Is there like criterias for RVs? Like,
Yeah,
do you have a
and
criteria?
it's starting to change as like as I'm getting more ideas. So right now I can't do fifth wheels. I can't pull them. So I can't do fifth wheels like anything. I found that if we're renting them out for people to take on outdoorsy, I can't have like a 32-foot thing. Um for renters, but what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to rent it out and require delivery. So I'm the person delivering it and hooking up. So I don't want a renter that I don't know hauling a 32-foot trailer, you know? So before I said it, I only wanted like 26, 28 feet. I think I would do longer as long as it can be pulled by, uh, the pounds have to be, I think my truck pulls up to 10,000 pounds. So it has to be under 10,000 pounds to pull. Um, and newer because RVs will fall. Well, they're old. There's more. They fall. They're just clump. You don't want anything old. I don't, at least. More issues. And what is my criteria? I had it. I think that's pretty much it right now. I'm not discriminating on a lot of them because I have a lot of ideas. I think I'm gonna have to get a bigger truck though.
Do you see like hikes in certain seasons, like where it's more needed?
Yeah, summertime for sure.
Summer.
Summer, everyone's camping. School kids are off. Kids are off for summer, or everyone's taking their, 4th of July, Memorial Day, like all those like camping holidays. So,
Is there a TC that you recommend to do
um,
paperwork for
I
somebody?
have been TCing myself. With the help of thankfully Molly and Allison, who held my hand. So if anybody needs a TC, I feel comfortable. I do not want to TC a house, but I feel comfortable enough to TC an RV at this point. So if anybody needs a TC, I haven't used anybody else, so can't recommend anybody else. But I mean, if you guys know people that can TC an RV, send them my way, and I'll be happy to recommend them and use them too. But
So similar to like Airbnbs, you know how like when you get reviews on your rentals, it starts boosting. Is that the same with RVs? Like if you get positive reviews, it starts pushing you out there more?
I think so. I'm trying to figure this out. Yes. And then RVZ, you can pay for them to boost you, but they get so much more stuff. But yeah.
Love
So
it.
it's
Love
a
it.
lot of the same.
What is your five top books that you could recommend somebody?
This is my favorite question. I love these posts someone posted this on Instagram or Facebook. I love these. Okay. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. I read that once a quarter, like 4 times a year. I just get the summary and like I highlight it, like, because it is so good for negotiation. For those of you that don't know, he was a hostage negotiator for several years. It's fantastic. You can use it in any type of negotiation. What else? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just getting started, which I don't think probably a lot of your people are, but for the mindset of real estate, if you're just getting started, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it just puts you in the mindset of why you want to real estate invest. I need to pull up my Audible list. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I am into the woo of like, so you set an intention and you tell like positive affirmations and speaking things into existence and like the law of attraction and all of that stuff. If you're into that, Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther and Abraham Hicks, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. Those are very wooey. An entry-level book that got me into it was Gabrielle Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back and Super Attractor. If you're just getting into that and you don't want to, but the Joe Dispenza one, it's for like you sciencey people, which I'm science. Like, I'm like, I need the science behind it. Like, I'm not into the conspiracy theory of it all, but he's a doctor and he really brings the science and the neurological and the thing. If you need that science thing to bring the woo into reality. So I really like that one too. I'm trying to think of other things. I don't know. I'm always reading books. If you guys have any recommendations.
You know what I think you should do? I think you should. I think it's time for you to make a book or a course about it.
You're the third person that's told me that. So I think I'm going to. I am. I was talking to Carolyn and Myron Briley, and they're like, we want an RV. Can you walk us through it? And I was like, yes. And let's Zoom it and let's record it and let's bring people along with us. So I think that's what's next is a course, like a masterclass. It's just like creative real estate. It's not going to be like I want an RV and you get it tomorrow. Like you got to find the motivation and you got to like talk them into it. And you got to, it's tough and it's a long journey, but it's not impossible. So I think that's up next.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share? What was a challenge you had to deal with that people might have to deal with? That'd be a good one. A good question. Like some kind of challenge, like a hiccup that happened, like a roadblock.
Yes. Here's one. The delivery. So I'm like, yeah, delivery. Outdoorsy recommends a $25 delivery fee. And I'm like, great, $25. So the van you drive, it's easier when you have the truck and the trailer because you can drive it in your truck and then unload it and then drive home. But when you're doing the van, so here's what happened real quick with the van. I needed to get an Uber. I needed to take it to the airport. So the van is so tall, it can't fit into a parking garage. I don't have a lot of time. I need to be efficient with my time. So I'm not going to go sit there and wait for them. And what if their plane is delayed? So I'm like, I'm going to drop it off. I'm going to tell you where it is. We can FaceTime the delivery. I have YouTube videos that does the delivery, like how to use the systems. So I get there and I'm like, okay, Wally Park, it's the outdoor parking thing. So parking garage is fine. It's right across the street. Easy for the person to get on a shuttle bus, free. They can go to it. So I'm like, smart. So then, but here's the deal. I was like, I'll just Uber back. So I'm looking at Uber and they're like, it's probably going to be like $80 because I live a long way from the airport, which is fine. So 25 delivery fee. So I've taken up all of my day, like 3 hours of my day. I have an $80 Uber and I've delivered it for $25. So I'm already in the hole there. Then I get there and I go to request an Uber. I'm like, I'm by the airport. It's not going to be hard. Oh, even if you're not at the airport and you're across the street from the airport, they upcharge you because it's an airport pickup. So it was $150. And that was just one way. Like, then I have to go back unless my husband's at work. So my husband's at work. He could have taken me. So then I got to take another Uber back and go pick it up when they're done with it. So that was my thing, the delivery fee. It takes a lot. That's why it's so high. It's $350 each way. And if you really want it, then I'll do it for $350 each way. But it takes a lot of time. It's going to be about $150 to Uber myself. $300 there and back in an Uber. Like, unless my husband's working, like he could do it, but I can't rely on that. So I have to factor that into it. So that's a challenge. Like I said, I'm stumbling my way through it and learning. So, but anyways.
It's amazing though. Hey, I'm glad you came on, and
thank you.
Hopefully that was helpful for a lot of people.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. And let's make some money together.
Let's make some money together. Let me know if you guys got your service departments, your RV parks, your land, your whatever you got. Let's do some deals.
Let me drop your website one more time.
Okay. That's just for deals. If you want, aurorainvest.com, if you take the elephant out, is our website, but you'll get there. So those are if you want to send me some deals.
Send her some deals, y'all.
Send me some deals. Thank you, Justin. Thanks for having me.
No problem. You have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.